Good morning, FlossTube. Welcome to Justsewsherrie. I'm Justsewsherrie here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. Well, hello. We are on take 8. This is happening. This is happening no matter what. So welcome. Welcome if you are brand new. It's good to see you. I hope you stick around, subscribe, like, do all the things. Welcome back if you've been with me before, and welcome to those stalwarts who have been with me from the very start. So, where are we? This just, honestly, it just isn't happening for me this morning. I woke up, I had a night, well, saying I had a nightmare. I braid a girl in my sleep. Well, not in my sleep, but it was in my dreams. I mean, I don't like this girl. I haven't seen her for 20 years. But I laid into her in my dreams and I woke up full of hell, like really angry. So, yeah, I'm not in the habit of hitting people, not now anyway. We'll leave that one there. I haven't hit anybody for a lot of years. Don't worry. I'm not I probably shouldn't be saying this. Take 8 isn't going so well, really, is it? So I didn't sleep very well, and I think I've got like piggy eyes, you know, when you're just all a little bit swollen and you're just sleep deprived. So even though I've been asleep, it's not a very good sleep, and I've started sleepwalking again. Well, I'm aware of something that I've done, and I came downstairs the other day and I've got laminate wood flooring, and there was water. There was like 2 piles of water, and I'm like, what the? And then I remembered, and I don't know if anybody else sleepwalks, but you know, like, it's a bit like a dream. You kind of get things back in pieces, like, oh, I remember bits of this, or I remember bits of that. And I can remember becoming aware with the sound of crunching. And I was sat, I've got like a stand with the cat bowls in, and one's got water in, the other one's got like biscuits, but it's like the all feed. They're not like treat biscuits. And I was holding on to that. I was sitting on the settee and I was holding on to that, and Jem was eating biscuits out of the thing, and I was like, what am I doing? And I remember getting up and sloshing the water, because obviously so that was me sleepwalking that I remember this week anyway. So no, I haven't been sleeping very well. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if it's because I'm due to go away on holiday, that I'm just a little bit anxious about going away. I haven't been away anywhere this year yet. This time last year I'd had about 6 retreats. So maybe it's that. Yeah. Well, if you're new here, there is stitching, I promise. Yeah, this is a channel about cross stitch, and well, my cross stitch endeavours, and sometimes a little bit of embroidery, and sometimes something else, which I'm going to show you today, if you want to stick around at the end, and I'll show you what I made. But Justsewsherrie. So if you're new here, Justsewsherries are just daft things that either I do or that happen in my life. My life is special, is the best way I think I can put it. I can have special things happen in my life. I'm going to tell you about another one from me Workmen. Bloody Workmen. I'm sick to the back teeth of Workmen. I think they've got like a special thing at work to decide, right, somebody gets to go to Sherrie's today, who is it? Because I'm sick of Workmen turning up. Sick to the back teeth. Anyway, I'll tell you that as we go. But so I had my kitchen done, as some of you know, and I had the painter in, and he was just a young lad. Must have been at least 20. And yeah, he was not the sharpest tool in the box. But he was a canny bairn. He was a canny bairn. Canny bairn means nice kid. He was a canny bairn. And it was towards the end of the day and they were finishing up, and I came downstairs and I looked in the kitchen and I says, oh, he went, oh, he says, I hope you don't mind. He says, I've got gloss on the benches. He says, so I'm just, or emulsion something. He says, so I've just borrowed your scrubbing brush. Because he was there like scrubbing away. He says, I've just borrowed your scrubbing brush. And I looked at him and I says, that's not my scrubbing brush. Shoe polish brushes. I hope you all know that these are shoe polish brushes. Shoe polish. The amount of black I had to clean off me brand new bloody kitchen benches. I was like, bonny lad, they're shoe polish brushes. And he went, oh, well, I just... And he's scrubbing away. Well, they're soft. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to clean anything. And obviously they're covered in bloody black boot polish. Because I use them for me. I've got black boots. Today's going to be fun. Today's going to be fun. Yes, I've got some black... They're called Viviana Hush Puppy boots. They're the comfiest boots I've ever had in my life. Got teeny little 1.5 inch heel with a little kick. They're like, I call them like little Victorian boots. They're lovely. To the point where I've had 4 pairs of them. Anyway, I'm sure you don't need to know all about my black boots. But so yeah, so that was the day I came down from me painter cleaning me kitchen benches with a black boot polish brush. Gen Z, man. Gen Z. If you're in Gen Z. Yeah. Gen X and Gen Z. No, Gen X and Gen... Is it Gen Y is the generation above us? I don't even know when the terms were coined. Suddenly I'm Gen X. And vintage is the 80s. And I'm like, it was only 20 years ago. It can't be vintage. 45 years ago. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to cross stitch. Cup of tea, because we're on take 8. Look at that, I've nearly got no tea left, so I'm probably going to have to fill up at some point. We are late this morning. I did start about 20 past 6. We're now on 10 to 7 again. Tells you where we've been. So I have got a fully finish. Well, it's an almost fully finished, but it's pretty much finished, so I'm going to show you it. And I've got 3 new starts. And I thought I had a finish. I could have sworn I had a finish, you know. But I can't find it. This is where I should have had a book of days, because I haven't bothered to keep track this year. I was going to. Do you know, it's been sitting here. I've got this. Just a, is it a moleskin? Leuchtturm? No, it's moleskin. Moleskin? Whatever you call it. And I was going to do some bullet journaling. Well, I was going to do a cross-stitch planner in the guise of like how I used to do bullet journals. And I've never gotten around to it. No, that's a lie. I've looked at it virtually every single day and thought, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. So I think the story of my life is go back to the book. Well, I'm not going to go back to the book of days. I'm going to get one of the Stacey Nash new ones that our daughter-in-law Kayla has made. I'm going to get one of those. So yes, but if I'd kept a record, I would know if I had a finish. This is my almost fully finished. So we talked about this because I said I had left, because all I need to do now is whip stitch along here, but I had left the hole to whip stitch it at the bottom, which is, I think, what you're meant to do, because you want it lovely and neat at the point where you're going to see it all the time, don't you? But the problem with that is I couldn't put crushed walnuts or whatever it is I've got at the bottom to give it some heft. So anyway, I've gone with it and I've just put a load of crushed walnuts in to about here, and then I've filled it up with polyfill stuff. I didn't have much options really, but I don't know what I'll do going forward. I'd like to know what do you do? Do you leave your whip stitch at the bottom, or do you just do it very, very, very neatly at the top? I know I could do it and then I would need to glue or stitch a pom-pom thing on. It's a struggle. The struggle is real. But this was, sorry, I should have said, this is called Friendly Blooms, and it's from October House Fibre Arts. And, was it Danielle, Cardiff Stitcher? I think Danielle asked, could you get it in a PDF? And yes, you can. If you go onto their website, they've got all their patterns, which I didn't know. All their patterns in real life patterns. Real life patterns, you know what I mean? And the ones that I could see also had PDFs as well. So if you're interested, that's where I got it from, and it was a lovely little stitch. And I am going to do it again. So, new starts. Now, it was Easter last weekend, wasn't it? So I had to have an Easter start. It's only a very little one, but it's a good one. It is Our Lauren, Flossabilities, Our Lauren and Sam, Easter Bunnies. And I've been promising myself to start this for weeks. So I eventually got it started. So that's a little start. I'm just doing it on, it's just a 16 count cremator that I had. But it's going to be lovely, I think. And you can see there, with it being in the hoop, how good it is going to look if it'll be a hoop finish. I kind of be doing, looks like Lauren's done fancy stuff. she's done back-ends and things. Mine'll be a hoop. Mine'll be an easy, easy, easy hoop. But her and Sam are doing so well with their designs. You should check them out if you haven't already. She's on Etsy. But also Rachel, Talking Dog Stitcher, has got, Talking Dog Stitchery, I should say, has got the physical patterns in. That's where I normally get mine from. What else? I was going to say something else about Rachel. Oh yeah, I've got no gifts. No, I haven't bought anything this week because I'm going away next week. But if you're after treating yourself, or you find you have a need for some fabric, Rachel's just stocked up with lots of Weeks Dye Works colours. I daresn't go on her site because I saw it on Instagram and I was like, no man, Rachel, I'm going away and I'm on a challenge. I've got 6 wants left that I can buy, plus another 3 for May and another 3 for the retreat. So I'm going to have 12. I'm pretty sure I will use up when I'm at Cowslip, because they sell such lovely fabrics and stuff. Oh, it's amazing. And they've got a lot of buttons. I can't remember which company it is, but they've got a lot of buttons there as well. Yeah. So my next new start was the one I talked about last week. So this is the Stitchery Sisters, which is ran from the Stitchery online. And I don't know if they do have a physical shop. I don't even know where it is. Sean Periwinkle Stitcher, she goes. They have got a physical shop. Anyway, this is the Herbarium series. It's to complement the Herbarium embroidery series that Nikki does. Sarah's done the cross stitch series. So this is March's that I wanted to start, and I have started. So this is on 36 count coffee dyed. It was antique white and I've coffee dyed, or it might have been bright white, whatever. It was white and I've coffee dyed it very lightly. But isn't that lovely? You can't colours aren't showing up at all. Did this last week as well, didn't we? I had to go through. The colours are beautiful. Really, really gorgeous. These are the colours. Tin Roof and is it Sanguine? No. So I have substituted. So around the edge is Sanguine. Weeks Dye Works. Sherrie. He today is not. Yeah. And then I looked at it again, and it wasn't. It was meant to be Sanguine and Grits together. So Grits is just a white. So it was meant to be the Sanguine and the Grits together, but because I'm doing it on 36 count, I'm only doing it with one strand, and for some reason it didn't enter my head that it was together. I just saw Sanguine and carried on. So what I've done is, and then Time was meant to be in just Sanguine. So what I've done is I've picked a very slightly darker pink for the Time. So I'm just using pink sand, which say is just very dark, a very slightly darker pink, just to have the difference between the word and what's in the border, that's all. But it's like my favourite colour. I was stitching it thinking these are my favourite colours in the entire world. Absolutely glorious. It's not coming, the colours aren't coming across, but trust me, if you're after a gentle palette, the colourings, the colourway used is spot on. Sarah's nailed it. And my last new start is another. So this is Lucy Beam, Friends Are Flowers. And I love this. Now with this, I'm not even entirely sure how it happened, but I've made my own conversion. Because who do I think I am? my own conversion. I've switched everyone because I didn't have them, most of them, and I thought, you know what? So I just eyeballed the image. I think that's what most people do, though. I think most people look at the image. So yeah, I just kind of try to colour match to the image. The only one I did have. Oh, actually, no, I'm lying, because I was going to substitute old blue paint. So in here, it's meant to be, the flowers are meant to be like a pink and then a blue on the top. Wasn't working for me. Just didn't like it. So I've just substituted, and I am using. Oh, I haven't got gaps to hand. Red pear, Weeks Red Pear, collards. Cherub, which is very much like a conch. Baked Apple, Classic Colourworks, Cherry Bark, and Cottage Garden Threads, Time for the greenery. So they're the ones I picked, and I am chuffed to bits with it. I think that's lovely. Again, you're not getting the colours really, I don't think. But this is a really dusky pink, the fabric. Now the fabric, I don't know what it is. It's like a dusky pink. I don't know whether it's a Megan Coffee Craft, but equally when I was stitching on it, it's got quite thick weave, so it could be a Picture This Plus. I'm really not sure. It's a dusky pink. and I counted it and it's a 36 count. And I think that's gorgeous. So I haven't actually got that much more to do. I did everything in me hoop, and now I'll move over. Yeah, I haven't got much more to do. That'll be finished in the next either 1 or 2 times that I pick it up. I'm chuffed with that. I really, really, really love it. I'd forgotten how much I liked it until I've gotten it out again. Really lovely. Oh, that looks a bit better colour. You can see it's much warmer. Lovely. Oh, in fact, and it must be downstairs. The Friends of Flowers, this one is a sulky that I'm using. It's got the nice variegation. So that is a sulky. So if anybody wants to know what it is, I would need to just ask in the comments, and I'll have a look and see which one I chose, because for some reason I haven't put it back where it's meant to be. Right, I'm going to go and grab a drink and we'll move into whips. Right, on to my whips, and this one, there's a few people have hopped onto it. I know Chris the Camping Stitcher gave in and got it, because honestly I'd definitely recommend it. But it is the Pot Sampler by Historical Sampler Company, and that's more of the colour that it is. I think somebody said it was called, I said last week it was kind of like a sackcloth colour, and I was trying to think of the word, and somebody said I think it was feedback. Something like that. Anyway, it's a really lovely sort of warm honey brown from XJew Designs, and I keep saying that I've written it wrong. I haven't written it wrong, you know, because it's called Rustic Sheep, but they've written it on. It's not. It wasn't me that's written it on. Honestly, I think it's Old Sheep on there. And I was going to look yesterday and get some more, actually, because I really, really like it so much. And it is a 40 count, and I'm doing it 1/1 with all the called for from. I got the gift box for my birthday for me. Like, I bought it for myself. So it came with all the threads and everything. So I changed the linen because it was 32 count, and I wanted to do with just one strand, so I've changed it to 40 count. I've gone right into, yeah, that's the bit I normally do at the end, never mind. So when you last saw her, I think I'd done this bit and I'd done half this flower, and I think I had done that, so I haven't done a huge amount on it. So I've just finished this motif off. Started into that one. Oh, that's right, because the pattern, it joins in the middle of here, and I was struggling to get it to line up on my board that I was following, because I'm a paper girl, so I got it in paper format, and I think it took me so long to do this bit that I gave up in the finish. So I need to go back to it. As it turns out, I didn't realise until the end, it's symmetrical. So I actually only need to do 1/2 and the other, well, I think it's symmetrical. Don't go and stitch half of it and say, well, Sherrie said symmetrical, because it might not be. I think it's symmetrical. Yeah, you check it. You check everything I say. Check it. Check it with people who know way better than me. So yeah, but I am loving this. And it's the fabric with me. I don't know about other people, but if I nail the fabric that I'm happy with, the rest is plain sailing. It doesn't matter about the threads or the pattern, really. It's, if I get the fabric right, the rest falls into place. If I don't get the fabric right, I just sit and whinge and say I'm not happy, I don't like this and I don't like that. So I've got quite good, if you've followed me for a while, you'll know I've got quite good at UFOing things that I'm just not happy with and starting again. Did I have some of that this week? I've got a feeling I had to frog something this week. We will find out as we go, no doubt. Oh, now this one I brought out, which I haven't seen for a little while. And let me find the photo of the... No, there it is. So this is Maria Bowthorpe, which is a Norfolk sampler, 1852, I think that says. I'm doing this for my lovely friend Alison's birthday, and I picked it back up. And this again is on a 40 count. I can't remember what. I will have to go back and look at my floss tubes to find out what it is, because for whatever reason I haven't I haven't put me little tag on like I normally do. So basically I have done this chunk. So, and I've come down and I've started to do the crowns, this 1/1. All of the writing is 1/1. So I'm doing it in 10th stitch. I am going with 10th stitch. What do you think? Now, this is a crown done in 10th stitch. Their crowns done in full stitch. I'll bring them in so... Tell me what you think. I mean, to be fair, it needs to be me that's happy with it. And if I haven't got my glasses on, it looks great. So as long as when I finish it, whenever I look at it, I haven't got my glasses on, it'll look fine. I often think that, you know. When I look in the mirror, I think, yeah, I look pretty good today. Like, I haven't got that many wrinkles and what have you. And then I realise I haven't got my glasses on. Moral of the story, never wear your glasses when you're looking in a mirror. If you need them. Obviously, if you don't need them, unlook them. Because yeah. So Lily, now one of my little friends, one of me stitchy friends, Sherrie, who lives about an hour away from me, called in unexpectedly this week. So that was really lovely to see her. And we talked about Instagram as well, but I'll cover that later. But Lily vanished. Stacey Nash, Lily Frog, nowhere to be found. Couldn't find her. She literally, I hunted for it 3 times, you know, and I couldn't find her. She was being shy, very shy. Don't know why. But I did find her last thing yesterday. So this is Stacey Nash Animal Cracker Series, Lily. And she's just put a post on Instagram where Kayla, our daughter-in-law, who has done like the book that I was talking about, she's done a spread, like a page with all of the animal crackers on, with little boxes that you can tick off to say that you've done them. So I thought, oh, it's a really good idea, because there's loads of them, and it would be nice to know which ones I've done or which ones I haven't. At the moment, I haven't done any of them, or I haven't finished any of them. So that occurred to me, and I thought, you know what? So I'm going to tell Stacey when I see her. I think... I think I would like a one with 3 lines of check boxes. 1 bought, 2 finished, 3 fully finished. And I think that's what I need, because I've bought a lot of them. I've only stitched 1. And I haven't fully finished any of them. And that may well be the case forevermore. you know how good at finishing I am. So this is where I am with Lily. So last time you saw her, I had just come down to here. So I have come all the way down. Oh, that's right, I've done this little bit because now, oh gosh. Yeah, I'm sorry, forgotten names. Hang on. I will find her. Erica. That's right, Erica emailed me. Erica, I hope you don't mind. I'm about to flash your bits, flash your stuff on FlossTube. I talked about I fancied putting sequins in here. They're meant to be Smyrna crosses, but I thought, I might put sequins in. But I'm doing it on 36 count, and certainly the sequins I've got are way too big. There might be, just thinking off the top of my head, I might actually have a few very small ones. But anyway, so I said I thought I was going to do it in beads. I think beads would look nice. And Erica has actually done that. So she emailed me to show me. If you can see. So she's done it in beads. But what she's also done is done the eyes in beads. That never occurred to me. I think that's spot on. And she said she has also done, she did a toe polish to match her dress. Isn't that fabulous? So yes, that looks like how I imagined this to be if I put beads on. So thanks for that, Erica. Fabulous. And this is on, I said it was 36 count, didn't it? It's Moonstone by Fibre on a Whim, which has got a very slight greenish tint to it, which I think lends itself well to a frog. You would think, anyway. And I'm doing it with all of the Cold 4 Weeks Dye Works. I'm trying not to, you know, when you see people threading that, well, I do it, you thread your fingers through. But obviously we've got oils on my fingers. Now, I think it was my patchwork calendar that I'd done, and I'd said, you know, by the end, the threads, I mean, they were horrible. But I mentioned on my floss tube, like, I've been constantly combing them, like, with my fingers and stuff. I said, and that probably hasn't helped. Now, a lady got in touch and said she used to go to the Embroiderers Guild. It was the Embroiderers Guild she used to go to, and a lot of people from the RSN, the Royal School of Needlework, were also in the Embroiderers Guild, and they said you shouldn't do it because you've got oils and things on your fingers. So that's kind of stayed with me. So every time I go to do it, I still do it, don't get me wrong. Of course I do it, I do everything wrong. But I try and remind myself not to do it. Right, one moment. Just pulling the blind down before getting to sunshine territory. It's meant to be quite warm here today, 15 degrees, which where I live, everyone else in the UK will tell you, that's virtually bikini weather to us. Us Geordies, we never wear coats, even in the dead of winter. If we're going out, like glam pub to pub, not a coat to be seen. Not a coat to be seen. On particularly cold days, we'll put a long sleeve t-shirt on. But no, we don't. It just, what do you mean coat? You would just lose it in the pubs, because the other thing we're very good at is drinking. Obviously I'm in recovery, so that tells you all you need to know about that. But what was it I saw the other, it was the Workmen again. There was one guy had come in to rip out the kitchen, but somebody else had come in to do something else, and he wasn't normally on their team. So the guy who's ripping out the kitchen, he's like, "Oh, you all right then?" He says, "Oh, yeah." And they were just trying to, like, you know, be friendly to each other, but they didn't know each other. First question, "So do you go out drinking much?" And it made me laugh, because I thought, yeah, that is your first question of any stranger that you meet. Oh, do you get out much? Do you go out drinking much? And the problem is, when you say, I'll say, actually, I don't drink, right? What they'll do is go, oh, and just remove themselves in case it's catching. Yeah, it's a very big drinking culture here in the northeast. I can't do it now, but I love that other people can. So yeah, that made me laugh. You know, and people look at you like, and then just remove themselves like, what do you mean you don't drink? And they'll say, why? Why don't you drink? Why? It makes me laugh. You know, I don't say, why do you? Why do you drink? So, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Cross stitch. Getting on about drink, that's me. Oh, yeah, that's me away. So, where was I? Totally lost myself going off on a tangent. No, this is a new thing. Oh, that's right, I was talking about being warm today. So yes, 15 degrees, which is, I worked it out, is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So I will be putting on my little sundress later. I'll be in the garden, I hope. I was going to put it on this morning, and then I realised I hadn't shaved my armpits. And when you're holding up things, I thought, oh gosh, no, the world isn't ready for that. So, yeah, we believe in honesty on this channel. Real honesty. So this, and I did this last week as well, I keep forgetting to show this little lady's thing. So this is Anton Offendell, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I've seen it done on Narissa's wall and Carol Saltbox. Where else did I see it? I think it was Kim, Contented Needleworker, that I saw maybe it's about a year ago, 18 months ago. I might have made that up, but I'm sure I saw her doing it some time ago as well. And every time I've seen somebody show it, I've fallen in love with it all over again. But to actually do it myself is just, honestly, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this is on 36 count, so she's a big girl, you can see. She's a big girl. So what have I done since you last saw her? Now, I was fighting again with the cross stitch, the 1/1 full cross. That was on, hang on, I have to move to this side, aren't I? Yeah. So I finished the flower because I had a little bit more to do. And I've done part of the stalk. And then that was as much as I could do. So I've come over here now. This is in tent stitch. I've decided to do it in tent stitch. I wonder if actually I shouldn't reach over, should I? What was I just saying about my armpits? Yeah. So that's tent stitch. I think that looks great. I'm happy with that. More than happy with it. So it will be tent stitch going forward. Now, Denise emailed me about the over one because she's busy doing it as well. And she said she'd done it in tent stitch, but she found, was it this one? Or was it something? Yeah, I think it was this one. But she'd come back and put full crosses in for the stalk. So, I mean, me with no glasses, it looks great. When I get me actual glasses, stitching glasses on again, I will have another re-look at that and see if I need to come back and put a full cross over it. So what have I done this week? So I've done all of that. I think it's because it's 1/1. It should be quite a big motif, shouldn't it? Obviously I've started here and I've done this petal here, and this little flower here as well. So I've done a little bit on her. I think it's because the over one never looks like much, does it? You think, is that all you've done? Actually, took me ages to do that. What do you mean, is that all you've done? And that's me talking to me. Pick these things up, think I've done loads on it, and go, is that it? Is that all I've done? But it's stunning. If you're sitting on the fence, don't hop into it, because, oh, she's beautiful. I'm not sure if I was going to stitch her again. I would do on 40 count maybe, make it even smaller. But it was, I needed a big chunk of fabric for it, even on 40 count. My measurements were making it more than a fat quarter, and they didn't have anything more than a fat quarter of 40 count. And I had, obviously, sorry, I should have said, this is 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart. So that's why I ended up going with it, because I've wanted to do it for 18 months. I couldn't possibly wait another week for the fabric to come that I wanted. Honestly, can I hold me water sometimes? So that's that one. Oh gosh, hurt me back. Another Workman turned up yesterday. Honestly, they just keep coming, literally. I don't mean like that kind of literally, but they just keep turning up at my door. He says, I've come to check your electrics. I was like, I've had them done 3 times. He says, well, after the kitchen gets installed, we need to do, it's got to be the safest house in town, my house, because it's been checked, fully checked. 3 times. So it took him about 2 hours to do it all. What was I going to say about it anyway? Can't remember. Menopause brain. I'm blaming menopause brain. I was going to say something. It's gone, never to return. So this one I have loved doing, and I've really got into it this week. I've done a lot, and it's one of these that I started ages ago, and then suddenly it's just floating me boat. And it is a Burnhope 1895 by Mama Loves You GB by Michelle, my hero. She's still my hero. I don't think she'll ever not be my hero. Not quite as intimidated by her as I used to be, but yeah, she'll always be my hero. So I have done quite a bit. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it gorgeous? So when you last saw it, I had done up to about here. I think I had another 2 or 3 more of these to do. So I've done to the end, other than the corner. And then I've come back and I've started doing just what's in my, well, basically what's on the page. So ABC now. Oh, that's a good point. Fudging. We talked about fudging last week. Now, Nikki, who comments a lot, Nikki, who I had to change the polystyrene for, because I was grating on her last nerve when I was using polystyrene. So I've changed it for a board. But Nikki did say, now where is she? Oh, Nikki, where are you? Where are you hiding? That's not Nikki. No, sorry, Nikki. This wasn't you. It was Justine, because Justine comments all the time as well. So Justine Rogers. I was watching Katie Strachan, and she went wrong, and she fudged. This was on Jessie Challoner for her attic stitch. hey, if Katie Strachan can fudge, we're all fudging. It's virtually law now that you must fudge, because what that girl does is genius. If you haven't come across Katie, she mainly does conversions into silk. So she stitches everything in silk conversion. But, I mean, her work is spectacular. Absolutely stunning. And she's bloody gorgeous to look at as well. I mean, what's not to hate about her? But no, hey, if Katie can fudge, I'm alright fudging. So, I've fudged. This it was down here, this border bit wasn't matching up with where it should have corresponded on these bits. And I couldn't figure out where the hell I'd gone wrong. And because I was wanting to try and put it right on this line of alphabet. And I've gone wrong in here. I've done an extra 2 thingies in here. And I looked and looked and looked and thought, I should take it out. I really should take it out. The problem I've got is that on this, when I have frogged, it's left a lot of the red, like fluff, and it's going to be really difficult to get rid of. It's almost stained the fabric, the red, because I'm doing it with Gentle Arts Schoolhouse Red. So I didn't want to frog it. I would happily have frogged it if it wasn't going to make a mess. But I figured it's going to make a mess. And do you know what? If Katie Stratton can do it, it's virtually compulsory. So this line will be 2 stitches more. So what I've done is I've reduced a stitch gap on this side, and I'll reduce a stitch gap on this side to bring the border back to where it's meant to be. So this and this will be slightly fudged, but I think it looks all right. You couldn't, I mean, that's an LM, and obviously we're going into the N. I think it looks okay. It doesn't look like it's too elongated with the extra stitches in my opinion anyway. So yeah, so I've come down, I've done all the letters, I've done the borders, and I've done some more of this border and come all the way down here. I am trying to do these as I go because it's not that they're tedious. I quite like these ones because they're more geometric. It's these sort of fancy flaily bits that I'm like, really? So yes, I'm trying to be good and do my vegetables as I go with the good stuff. And me magpie, me black and white bumblebee magpie that I got from Stitchy Ferret, Sophie. Yeah. It's fab. Loving this. And I started it yonks ago. Yonks ago. Last summer maybe. And then like I say, for some reason, I think it's just the red. I've gone in must have red stitch territory because I picked up Maria Bowthorpe as well. So yeah, we're in red stitch territories. Now, let's talk about Instagram as we do this last whip. Last week I was saying how I struggled putting things on Instagram because I felt like it was more showing off. And this is where Nikki came into it. So Nikki commented, let me have a look. I don't look at posting on Insta as showing off, more showing people what's out there and what it looks like stitched. And I had this conversation with Sherrie when she called round as well. And I had this kind of light bulb moment of, because she was saying, I like to see what it's like stitched up before I necessarily buy the pattern. And I was like, oh. And it took me back to, I won't say who it was, but there was a couple of stalls at the Knitting and Stitching show last year that I was there at. And there was 2 patterns on one of them and one on another. And when I'd said, oh, have you got that? Oh, no, we haven't got it. Oh, have you just sold out? No, it's not running anymore. Well, why have you got the model up? Why have you got the model up? If I can't buy it, don't put the model up. And I just had this light bulb moment when I was talking to Sherrie of, oh yeah, because I buy stuff because I see the models. That's right. Like, because there's a lot of stuff. Most of you have probably got something where you've thought, I would never have bought that if I hadn't seen it stitched up. So that's the point, isn't it? It's about seeing things stitched up. I am not going to be Katarina Stich, I don't know how to pronounce that, but she like stages her photos just stunningly. That's never going to be me. But I have been much better this week on Instagram. I've been posting stuff. So some of this you will have seen. I've tried to post either during stitching or at the beginning of when I've picked it up, so that when I'm showing it on FlossTube, it's not just a repeat if some of you have already seen it. So I am trying, guys. I am trying. I know I'm very trying, but I am trying as well. So this is my beautiful. She's suddenly taken shape, really taken shape, because I put her back stitch on her face. Put the back stitch on. So I finished, well, I actually did her face because I had frogged it. So I've done her face and I've put her back stitch on down here and there. There is another tiny little bit of back stitch here to go, but I'd run out of thread and I was busy. Can't remember what I was doing. I didn't want to, can't remember anyway, so I need to remember to go. Oh, will you need to remember to remind us? I've come down, I've done her shoulder. I've done some more of her scarf. I got some really good progress on this last weekend, which I was quite pleased with. So I've come down and filled in more of her scarf with a lighter purple, very light purple. I've done all of this. Now I didn't realise, but this is the reindeer, so that's the reindeer's rear end. And I've done the scarf coming right out, which is, and funny enough, I said this last week, is the purple from the reindeer or from the Snow Queen? I can't tell, but I think it's from the reindeer, because she's got the scarf that comes down here, and then she's going to have the big sort of beautiful, didn't even show you the thing, have I? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's just, I think this bit is her dress in the shadow. I'm not sure. It might come apparent when I stitch it more. I also came down, I finished some of the ice. Again, just done a little bit more filling in, and I've started on the bottom. Now this has got Whisper in it. If you haven't come across Whisper, I think it's downstairs. Whisper's like a fuzzy thread, so it's obviously going to make a fur-like texture. Well, that's the theory anyway. So I've done around here, but I don't want to do the Whisper until we're closer to the end, because it'll just get rubbed and knocked and all the rest of it. So I don't want to put it in now for it to look like pants by the time I actually finish it, because there's still a lot more to go. It's just really starting to take shape though. I've been saying that since every time I've shown her, she's coming on, and she is coming on. But yeah, she is gorgeous. I'm so pleased. Because I honestly didn't think I would finish this, you know. I mean, I know it's still only halfway through, but I didn't think I would get to this point. I thought I would do a little bit and then think, do you know what, this is just too much. I cannot be doing with this. This isn't for me. This is too much for me. But it turns out, a little bit at a time, she's coming on. And she's been done with all the called for on the called for fabric, which is Witch Out Twilight, I think. I've done quite canny without my glasses today, mind, haven't I? Twilight Blue by Witch Out. So that is all my stitching, and I haven't got much more to show you. I've got a couple of things, crafty things that I made, which I wanted to show, and then we'll be, and obviously our final thought, and then we'll be done. So one moment. So I've been doing this for maybe it's about 10 years ago I started, and I don't know what made me start, but I did. Pressing flowers, but specifically it was in order to save memories. So this is an old one I've done. I think it's about 2017. I trained a group, and it was a cracking week that we had, well, fortnight, and they bought me some flowers, and it was just a brilliant group. So what I did was I've just tea-dyed some tea and coffee paper at home and pressed the flowers. Now I have got a flower press here. You can make them if you're particularly, all it is screws in the bottom, and you just screw them as tight as you can. I've also got like kitchen rolls, napkins in there to try and soak up any of the water in the flowers as well. But when I first started, and even now, I put them into books, just heavy. I've got, you can see down there, got some heavy, quite heavy books, and I can just put them, I always put them in between some sort of kitchen roll or something like that, and press them, and it's just a way of remembering moments, because flowers generally don't last. Well, obviously they don't. So this was one that I did from a group that I had a particularly good week, fortnight with, and this is a recent one that I've done. So this is, obviously it's glass. I got this frame from Matalan. I've got quite a few of them. I used to do something, I used to have an Etsy shop, but it was for something slightly different. But I had a load of these, and I thought, you know what, I wonder if the flowers will go in. So these are just, it's got like a thing that slots in, and it's just 2 panes of glass, and you just put your flowers. Now I think if you've got a wall that you don't want to show off, all you need to do is cut out, maybe what I would do is put a bit of paper behind it. But I would put, you can put water around something, and then when you tear it, it comes off as like vintagey, like the way it dries, the paper. I hope am I making sense or not? Yeah, if you need to know more, let me know, and I'll go into more sort of explanation of as to what I mean. But that's what I would do. I would put like a rough bit of paper around it, so it looked sort of more organic, basically. And these are flowers from my 50th birthday that I got. So there's flowers in here from, I got 4 bouquets of flowers, one for my brother, one for my godmother, one for my daughter, one from somebody else. Oh, at least it was just, oh, my best friend, Julie, yeah. So I kept a flower from each bouquet, and I just pressed it and put it in there. Now what I'm planning on doing is putting like a vinyl on here, like with 50th or something like that. But I know these are from my 50th, so I don't need a marker necessarily on it. But I just thought it might be quite nice. But yeah, the other, I mean, I've got a few dotted around the house. One of the ones I have done, it was a friend of mine she died 2 years ago now. And I wasn't able to go to her funeral, but I deliberately went for a little walk in the country that day, just sort of to think of her and, you know, just sort of, yeah, be at peace. And I deliberately picked some flowers, just wildflowers along the way, just daisies and some, you know, different things that I don't know the names of, just wildflowers. And I pressed those and I've kept those, and whenever I look at them I think of Janet. So yeah, it's ways and means of preserving memories basically. So I hope some of you have enjoyed seeing that. I think that is about it. Now, I remembered what I was saying, you know, when I lost me train of thought earlier when I was on about the Workmen. It was because I'd hurt me back, because when this bloody Workman turned up again to do me electrics, I had to pull the settee and everything out, and it was like, I just felt like really rushed because I had to do it really quickly and I shouldn't have, and I felt me back pull. So it's going to be what a shame. I'm going to have to just sit and cross stitch today because my back's sore. I mean, I'm taking one for the team here, guys. I really am. Gutted. But today is the Pope's funeral. And again, I've said this before, I'm not particularly religious, but I do have faith and hope and all that sort of stuff. So what I've looked for our final thought is a quote from Pope Francis. I believe he was a good man and that he has changed the church for the better. I think he's influenced an awful lot of people, and that can only be a good thing. So our final thought from today, it's a little bit for saying more than just a one-liner. So Pope Francis: rivers do not drink their own water, trees do not eat their own fruit, the sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you're happy, but much better when others are happy because of you. Bye for now.